Aha! Another week has gone by. I tell you what, the days are going by far too quickly for my liking, but nevertheless, here we are again. It's Thursday, so it's a live stream. Now, I did say in the thumbnail, what did I say? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Um, the good, of course, being Super 7. I don't think it's maybe fair for me to have called Kenobi bad. Um, it just wasn't very good. I'm struggling to get my damned YouTube caught up here. I think we're okay here. So, and what was the other one? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Oh, the ugly was eBay. We'll get to all of those. Um, I'm not sure how long we're going to run for this. I do have something that needs to be taken care of later this evening. So it may just be 90 minutes, possibly. Don't know yet. But I guess, as always, when I take my first pee break, I'll post the link. But we do have some comments already, which is very nice. So, Matt, excuse me. Hi, Dean. Hi to you, Matt. And Johnny Stratos finally made a live chat. Great to be here, Dean, and great channel. Well, thank you. I've also been putting a few beers down. Yeah, it seems to be the way of things. I need to not do that, but it keeps me, or it gives me the confidence to do these live streams. But I know it's something that I need to knock on the head fairly soon. Monkey Boy is here. Awesome to see you, my man. Ahoy, me hearties. Tree Theodore, hello all, and hello to you. And Ben, good to see you. Hi, Dean. Hi, chat. Still loving the live intro. Well, thank you. I'm just wondering how many of you caught the custom countdown I did. I did that quickly the other day because I didn't like how when using YouTube's countdown and then switching to the live intro video, there was a jump and it didn't run at all smoothly. So I did a custom countdown with some, what I like to think would be a pretty good intro to a concert, and straight into the live video. Hope it worked. Yeah, Ben says hi to Monkey Boy. Good to see you all here. Yes, it is. It's fantastic. I still can't believe that people would, take their time out of their day to watch me rabble on, but they do. Mr. Goboto, hello, Dean, in the room. Hello to you, sir. I will mention your name when we get to the eBay topic. You have been extremely kind, but we'll get to that shortly. Goonies 1632. I realize I still need to watch episode 6, so I'll watch this video after that. Would love to participate in the live discussion of seeing. Well, hang on, you don't need to go yet. I'm not going to discuss Kenobi yet. It won't be until I need to use the bathroom, which might be about an hour. I'll discuss the other stuff, and prior to discussing Kenobi, there will be extensive spoiler alerts, so there's no reason to run off just yet, and I would appreciate if you would stick by for now. Monkey Boys Toys, hi Ben, hi. They're saying hi to Tree, and hi back again. Can you make me a ham and cheese sandwich? Yeah. I was glad to find that clip that we discussed last Thursday and put it up there. And I should confess, initially I had filmed myself reacting to watching that, but I had a real technical disaster. And I think my trusty Canon video camera is on its last legs, unfortunately. I've been using the built-in laptop camera for these streams because my camera is switching itself off midway through recordings, and that's not good. So I had a disaster with my reaction, and by the time I realized what had happened, I thought, screw this, I'm just going to put the video up with me introducing the ham and cheese sandwich clip. So yes. So Johnny caught it. Okay, thank you. I always miss part of the intro waiting to skip the YouTube. Yeah, you see, I thought that might happen, and I did the 30-second countdown with I made some eerie music, and then straight into the live rendition of the All Things 80s theme. Maybe I need to do a 1 minute countdown, and that will guarantee that any skippable ads will have stopped, or you could skip them by the time the live intro starts. Something like that, anyway. Laughing at Matt, yeah. So does anyone else remember seeing that segment from Why Don't You back in the day? Interestingly enough, when I did the YouTube search for that, it did say it was broadcast in 79. It's entirely possible I saw it in 79, but I think they may have rerun these episodes during the summer holidays, because 79 would have put me at what, 5? I mean, it's possible I remember it from then, but I think it was probably rebroadcast in, like, I don't know, 82, 83 or something. The ham and cheese snack video made Monkey Boy unreasonably angry. I mean, the whole thing was just stupid. And there were some comments on the way the girl buttered the bread. And I think as well that was margarine and not butter, because I don't think butter came in tubs back then. I think butter was always in those foil wrappings. Who knows? But yeah, it was a really annoying segment. And I loved when the boy, had cut it into his cubes and put the cocktail stick through it. And he says, and then you just, well, I guess, stab it into the orange. Bizarre. If they had said they were doing it for a party, it might have made more sense. But there was no mention of parties or nice displays for a table. It was just, this is a ham and cheese snack. And then, of course, they stuck it into the side of the orange. Bizarre. I remember seeing it on a rerun because I was born in 77. Awesome. Thank you, Matt. I thought so. I thought there's no way that it was only ever once broadcast in 79. Like I said, it's possible I could have remembered it from then, but no, makes complete sense. Mark Telfer, good to see you. Yeah, that was Marjorie. Yeah. When or does butter come in tubs these days? I think it does, but I just remember there always being that sort of foil wrapping that would come like a block, and you would have to unwrap butter that way. Those mangled squares were only fit for the bin or the dog. Yeah, I would agree with that. They made a real mess of these snacks. And also as well, the one the girl made, what was it? It was essentially, was it 3 slices of bread and 1 slice of ham, or 2 slices of bread? Either way, it was a pretty awful looking snack. Yeah. Okay. So it still comes in foil or greaseproof paper unless it's a spreadable butter. Gotcha. Yeah, and Matt says, yes, butter comes in tubs nowadays. Okay, awesome. Mark is asking, plain or pan loaf? Now, was plain bread the one that had it was like a much longer slice, and it had the really charred ends to it, and it was a really thick, substantial bread. My dad loved that stuff. I wasn't a huge fan, but looking back, I would love to have some again. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get more chat on Why Don't You, but just to quickly go over a couple of the non-Kenobi things I had suggested in the thumbnail. First up, I'm really overwhelmed by the positive response to the Super 7 video. I only did that because I was sick and tired of hearing people bitching and complaining about Super 7. And as I stated in that video, I only base opinions on my own personal experience. And my personal experience of Super 7 has been nothing but super. Everything from the product themselves to the level of customer service has been second to none. And thankfully, about 98% of the comments agreed with what I was saying. There were one or two detractors, mostly bitching about the price, which I kind of explained, but it was also brought to my attention that not only are they paying for these big licenses, they're also, being a smaller company, they have to make smaller runs of these figures. And obviously, the smaller the run, the more it costs them to make. So it makes complete sense that their prices are a lot higher than these massive established companies. But there was one comment I got today that I've not even responded to yet, where someone said, in fact, let me just read it because it really bothered me, actually. It was sort of typical of the so-called collector these days. Just bear with me. It's worth me finding it because it was rather... it annoyed me, put it that way. Someone said... let me see... someone says, yeah, they're overpriced and they don't hold value. Well, you shouldn't be buying an action figure because you think it's going to hold value. You buy it because you like how it looks, or maybe it was from a cartoon you enjoyed as a kid. There's just too much of this emphasis on holding value and being able to resell it down the line. Just buy it because it's fun. It's a toy. It's an action figure, you know. Never understood that. Monkey Boy enjoys Super 7. And Mark says, you're right. Plain is as you described. The longer rectangular shape. Scottish Pride, that was the one. Yep. I'm assuming they still do that then. I'd like to try some of that again. Lone Dragon, what did I miss? Did we talk crap about Target pre-orders yet? No, not yet. Come to think of it, what do I have one. I have the Catwoman pre-ordered at Target. Although I'm not holding out much hope for that, given that the last time I pre-ordered from them, which was the unmasked Batman, they cancelled on me and I got it from Australia. So I may end up probably having to get that from Australia as well. Mark says, I don't have any Super 7, but I'd happily have in my collection. They are bringing us 80s style figures from 80s franchises that never did. A kind of modern day Mego. Exactly, that's the thing. It's the fact that all these licenses that they do hold are classic 80s. And in some cases, I'm assuming it was from lines or licenses that were never even made back in the day. So I'm assuming there were no Back to the Future figures back in the 80s. So the fact you can get them nowadays is awesome. And the fact that they're done in 5 POA with the classic card back, I love it. So, you know. So they still make plain bread. I'd love to get some of that, actually. Definitely. American bread is terrible. There are a number of things that America does badly. Bread is one. For the most part, it's way too sweet and it's just riddled with preservatives. Case in point, you can open a loaf of bread here in America and it's good for... I've seen myself have a loaf of bread not go moldy after about 10 or 12 days. When I was back in Scotland in 2019, I bought a few, bakery products that were blue and crusty after like 2 or 3 days, and those were bought in plenty of time. So obviously, America is loading their bread with preservatives and sugar. It's far too sweet. Also, their cheese is terrible too. Howdy, Bjorn. Hey, Bjorn. I'm always saddened when I hear of your Target pre-order experiences. They are a bit naughty. Yeah, I mean, as I alluded to in the Super 7 video, the fact that Super 7 gives you that window of opportunity to put in a pre-order and you're guaranteed to get it. It's wonderful. It's how it should be done. Almost like a made-to-order type thing. And the fact that they have that countdown clock on their website gives you ample chance to get your pre-orders in. I love it. Did they not make figures of Back to the Future cartoon? Not the same thing. I honestly don't know. I never got into the hype of Back to the Future. I do apologize for that. Howdy. No way. God knows what GM or chemicals that are in it to make it get that long. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think a good 10, 12 days, no sign of mold, but super sweet, horrible bread. And then the good stuff, which comes from, local independent bakers, that stuff doesn't last long. Whilst it doesn't go moldy, it goes rock hard after a few days, and it's bloody expensive. Like I paid $8 the other day for a small loaf of, independent baker's bread. It's far too much. Jason, good to see you. Got a couple of Super 7 figures. I do like them. Yeah, I think they're wonderful. Absolutely nothing wrong with them. Ben says, only know Super 7 from your channel. They look good to me. They certainly have a lot of licenses. Yeah, they really do. And within each license, they have, well, in my experience with the Ghost, especially, they have a ton of variations on the card back and things. And the fact that they can deliver those really elaborate card backs to me with no damage whatsoever, it puts Amazon and Walmart to shame. Everything is too sweet. I've started splurging on sugar-free ketchup. Yeah, this fascination with sweetness in America is. What was I thinking about the other day? Yeah, even coleslaw is sweet in America. American chocolate is a bit waxy. Can't beat a nice slab of Cadbury's Dairy. Oh, exactly. In particular, Hershey's. It's pretty awful, if I'm being honest. Once you've had Cadbury's, you can't go back. I mostly have the Alien Super 7 figures. Want to get the ED219 they did. Yeah, they're great figures. And I only have the one Ultimates, the Ghost Papa Emeritus, the first, which is a great figure. And the fact that it comes with the alternate head and the different costume, fantastic. So I have Papa Emeritus, the second, pre-order. So again, that was done during a window of opportunity. So I think that's coming later this year. I've heard about US chocolate. Yeah, it's just a hot. Well, actually, to be fair, I think Hershey's is like the same sort of standard as Cadbury. But then again, saying that, I was going to say Lind and the other one I forget, but those are like Swiss, I guess. So basically America versus UK would be Hershey's versus Cadbury, and Cadbury wins every day of the week. Seen that ED219 coming. Do they not do Predator figures? I'm sure they probably did. They've done everything. It's too pricey. Otherwise, I'd get the Rita, Repulsa, and Dragon Zord. And I'm not even really a Power Rangers fan. Yeah, that's the only downside, is they are expensive. $18 for a 3.75 is far too much, but licenses, small company, that's what happens, I think. It's funny, I mainly pick up the women of them so far. Just started to pick up the men. So you're a ladies' man, Jason. I missed out on those Dark Crystal reaction figures. They're pricey now. The Melvor, big thumbs up to Bjorn. I love you found a proper scaled and colored 60s Batmobile. Still impressed with Jada's version with the lighting. Your Batman display in Thailand will be something to behold. Oh, absolutely. So I've been saying this for weeks now. I really do have to start on that Batman collection video. I need to wait for some days of bad weather so I can be stuck indoors and do it. Excuse me. I am watching an auction that ends tonight. The reason being that I got an email from, I think it was Big Bad Toy Store, telling us that NECA were reissuing their 1/4 scale Robin figure. And I missed out on those. They did I think they're like 18 inch, or Batman is 18 inches, Robin's probably 16, I guess. Those came out, like 2014 or something. And I remember at the time wanting them, but I just couldn't justify the price, which back then was like, I think $100 each. I couldn't justify it. And of course, they sold out, and then they're on eBay right now. Typically, the Batman sells, or the pair of them go for like $500 to $600. But anyway, they are reissuing the Robin for I think 120 or something. Still no word if they're doing the Batman, but I am going to watch an auction that ends tonight for the Batman. So hopefully, and that will be my first NECA figures, I think. And they have a bad reputation as well. But again, I will make my own conclusions on that. Hayden, I'll have to catch the live stream later. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you, Kenny. The Yanks own Cadbury's now, I think. I did indulge quite a bit with the Cadbury's cream eggs this Easter. They have them here. The cream egg and the caramel egg, absolutely tiny these days, but I actually like the caramel egg more so than the cream egg. And speaking of caramel eggs, in the UK as a kid in the 80s, I used to love getting that long box of the Macintosh caramel eggs. There's probably like 8 in the box. Those were delicious. Do they still make those? And I can hear some gardening equipment going off there. Sounds like a leaf blower. Yes, think the Forbidden Planet, they're about 16 to 19 pounds. Yeah, it is high, especially when you consider that the closest comparison would be the Hasbro Retro Collection, which I remember the first couple of waves were $10. I think the most recent one was going for what, 12, maybe 12, 13. So yeah, $18 versus 12 or 13 is a hell of a jump. But, there are reasons for that, I guess. Doesn't help that I just spent $235 on a turtle van. Wow. Missed out on the Reaction Street Fighter figures. I passed up an opportunity to get the first 2 waves for £70, and now they're silly money. Yeah. That's the thing about when toys come out nowadays. You have to jump on it. Otherwise, you're paying through the nose if you let it go to the secondary market, as I've learned on a few occasions. Sometimes you don't have the money there and then. It's a hard thing to decide. I pick up on Sunday the Galoob A-Team van. Okay, not mint, but had the parts that I needed. Nice. I've been looking at a replacement Galoob, 5-6 inch Murdoch. Let me explain. One of the first videos for All Things 80s back in 2019 was I got hold of Hannibal, Face, and BA brand new on packet and did the unboxing. Could not find a Murdoch, so I got a loose one, and it really was loose in as much as the limbs are all loose and floppy and paint rub and stuff. And I'd like to display them, but I need to get a nice Murdoch to go with them. So I was looking online, and I don't know why, but of the 4 main characters, Murdoch is by far the most expensive. Well, of course, Amy is the most, but I don't necessarily need to get an Amy. But yeah, I'm in the market for a new Murdoch. Hey, Dean, love the channel. Great work. Thanks, Jonathan. Well, thank you too. Very kind of you. Deep fried Mars bar. Yeah, I had it. When was that? We went to Scotland in 2017, and I guess the they must have come out after I had left Scotland. So I'd never had one when I was there previously. So went back to visit, tried one. It's all right, actually. It's obviously it's important that the oil is somewhat clean because you don't want to have fishy oil on a Mars bar. But it was all right. Probably better with ice cream than just wrapped in paper. But yeah, not at all bad. I used to fancy the Cadbury's Caramel Bunny. Yeah, well, she was probably the second sexiest rabbit of our childhood. Someone can comment which was the number one sexy rabbit of the 80s. Pretty obvious. I haven't had a problem with any of my NECA figures. I hear a lot of people have to use hot water. The only figure I have had to use hot water on was Marvel Legends Kitty Pryde to unstick her elbow. Huh. Yeah, there seems to be like people say that they get a NECA and it's all broken out the package. I have no comment because I don't have any, but hopefully I'll get some. They don't taste like they used to anymore, Cadbury's cream eggs. Yeah, the ones I had from America, they were rather sickly, to be honest. Mark says, looks like McGady is about to sign on for the Cadbury. Yeah, I saw that. Furthermore, I had to, one of the Hibs Twitter accounts, not official, I forget which one it was, put up an appreciation post for Rocky Bashuri, who the fact that a player had to go to management and say, why do the fans hate me, is despicable. So I put in a message of support and called some of the fans twats. Imagine being so vocal that you've caused the player to ask the management, why do the fans hate me? He must be feeling like absolute shit right now, and that is terrible. Really despicable. Yeah, McGady, what's he, like 36, 37? My God. Yeah. So it's been a strange signing window for Hibs. We've had a lot of youngsters and a couple of pensioners. Cadbury Bunny was voiced by Miriam Margolis, who, among many other roles, played Professor Sprout in Harry Potter. Didn't know that. I have not seen any Harry Potter movies. Jessica. Is that the one? I mean, I'm thinking of the Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's who that is. But yeah, she was quite sexy in a cartoon kind of way. I'm not weird. Bugs' girlfriend. No, I wasn't thinking of that. But yeah, she was all right. I guess. What am I saying? It's a bloody cartoon. Stop. My God, you're making me say some weird stuff here. Jim Largo, greetings, sir. Laughing, yeah. Yes. Cadbury's Bunny was definitely working it. That was the caramel one. She spoke like real slow and put the piece of chocolate into her mouth real suggestively. Yeah. I'm assuming, I was about to say, I'm assuming they couldn't do that these days, but everything is sexualized these days. So it's probably pretty tame compared to what kids see these days. It's a sad indictment for a new player, albeit returned from a loan. Yep, so Hibs are signing a 36-year-old. Wow. Outfield player at that. Jessica Rabbit, that's the one. Yep. What's your current view on getting toys and trading cards graded? It's getting expensive. I have no interest in that whatsoever. In fact, if you look back on my videos somewhere, I guess 2 years ago, or maybe even 3 now, I've busted open a couple of graded figures because I wanted the figure, and I don't give a rat's ass about the grade or it being in a case. I understand that being encased preserves the figure, and that's good, actually. But for me, I like to be able to touch them and not play with them, but, just remember what it was like as a kid to get a new figure and move the arms and things. But no, I would never pay to get a figure graded. As I said earlier, I don't think action figures should be viewed upon as an investment. They should be enjoyed as they were intended. And let's be honest, we've all seen, and especially me firsthand, that toys from the 70s and 80s are starting to go. They are degrading. And at some point, you're going to be left with a box of gloob. So just enjoy them while you can. And I wouldn't worry too much about any potential future value. Just my opinion, of course. Used to fancy Aeon Flux. I do like a femme fatale. I don't know who that is. Please do enlighten me. Cadbury Flake adverts are a bit racy. Oh yeah, she was on the boat, wasn't she, with the big straw hat? Is that right? I think it's what I'm thinking of. But would you go with Wilma or Betty? Wilma, she had the red hair, right? Is that right? And Betty, was she blonde? Yeah. So Jason goes for Betty. My friend's sister was in a flake advert. She was sitting on a windowsill eating a flake. There was a lizard scampering all over the telephone. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Leg up on the windowsill. Yeah, that was pretty exciting. In fact, speaking of 80s crushes, I was just, having a messenger chat with a friend in Scotland, and we're talking about how Neighbours is coming to an end. And I couldn't quite remember if it was possible to watch both Neighbours and Home and Away. Turns out you could, because one was at 5, one was at 5:30. But we're talking about the ones we fancied. And I remembered the one from Home and Away called Sophie. And she looks okay these days. And then I remembered about Neighbours when they introduced Plain Jane, the super brain. And it was so obvious from her first appearance that this was a hot-looking chick with a really bad hairstyle and terrible glasses. And when she got all dolled up to go to the prom, it was not a surprise that she was absolutely stunning. So I really did quite fancy her. Funnily enough, I never really found Kylie Minogue that attractive back then. Obviously, with age, she got a lot better, but I was never really big on the Kylie Minogue thing in the 80s. Happy Accident. No idea what those mean. Looks like a ninja. Too small for me to read. Betty all day. Okay. The tactile experience and smell are the best. I think the Perspex containers look handy for display purposes, but the grading is a license to take money. Absolutely. Why would you pay someone to tell you your figure looks good? I don't really understand that, unless, of course, you're just doing it to make money. But how much more? Okay, here's my question. Say you have a really nice looking figure and loose, it's worth X amount, and you send it off to get graded, but you have to pay for that service. How much more is it worth being graded and in that box than if you just sold it loose without paying that grading company a bunch of money? I have no idea. A lot of votes for Betty. Aeon Flux was a cartoon on MTV's Liquid Television and was later made into a live-action movie starring Charlize Theron. Okay, that is all completely new to me. I'm not really... I don't keep track of these things. Only the crumbliest, flakiest chocolate, that's the one. Do you remember the... Okay. Ice cream cone. Cone, vanilla ice cream. A 99, cone, vanilla ice cream, and a Cadbury flake. Was 99 the price in pence, or was another reason for calling that a 99? And wasn't it just half? Didn't they have like special half-sized flakes for those? And do they still sell 99s? Of course, the joke was when we were teenagers to go into the shop and ask for a 69, but you know, kids will be kids. Daffy Duck and Elmer Fudd broke into a distillery. Daffy said to Elmer, "Is this whiskey?" And Elmer said, "Yes, but not as whiskey as robbing a bank." Quite like that, actually. Good one. Glad I found your live stream, Dean, last week with Why Don't You, and also the Joey thing was hilarious. Yeah, so isn't that funny that we all had the same Joey Deacon experience as kids? Obviously, you couldn't laugh at that these days. I remember that advert. Forgive me, she was hot. Yes, she was. I'd go with Wilma, but I'd be thinking of Betty. Red Dwarf joke. Yep, that was a good, nice joke there. Yep. Yeah, you could buy boxes of 99 flakes from the wholesaler, but the ones for so they were shorter than a normal flake, but was it called 99 because that was the price? Because I'm thinking 99p for an ice cream cone would have been a lot back then. Is there some other reason that I'm not thinking of? Good one, awesome name. Yeah, that's one of the best names on YouTube. Fantastic. Yep. So just to sort of share something I saw that is extremely interesting to me, and it does harken back to my point about the licenses for certain lines costing more money to sell to us. So I got an email from Lego the other day suggesting that I might be interested in something. And I am very interested actually, but having just purchased the Optimus Prime, I don't have the money for this. But what do you think of this? It's a reissue of sorts of the Galaxy Explorer. Obviously, it's a modern update on the classic. And $100, I mean, that's a lot of money. It's rather expensive. However, with it being Lego's own property, they are able to keep the price somewhat sensible. It contains 1,200 pieces. So 1,200 pieces for $99 versus the Transformers, which is 1,500 pieces for like $170, I think. So it's a hell of a difference. My only complaint is I wish they'd kept this as an identical reissue of the original. This is just a bit too modern looking, especially when you see some of the other angles. I mean, the box looks great. They really have done a pretty good representation of how these things looked back in the 80s. Looks good. It's just a bit too modern. And even at the back, they've got the little buggy and all sorts. Back of the box, again, showing you sort of various angles and little alternate models you can make. Decent size as well, pretty similar to the original. But having just forked out for that, what do you call it, Optimus Prime, I'm not really in the market for Transformers, Lego again, but I will keep it in mind, I think. Let me know what you think of that. Scottish Baker's joke. Is that a donut or a meringue? No, you're right, it's a donut. Yep, classic. Sometimes go by the name of Richard Gauzinia. It's gone over my head, I'm afraid. You may have to explain that to me. Thank you very much. RRTNZ. Thank you. Very kind of you to do that. Just dropping by to say Kenobi finale was 70% nonsense and 30% action character, but the rest of the show was 90% crap. So an improvement, cheers. Thank you. Yeah, you're not wrong there. Yeah. Anyway, hello there, Bullwinkle 80. Nice, I would. Is that I hope you're talking about the Lego. BW. Don't know that. I guess that's all just greetings to each other. I cringe when remembering what we called a double chocolate nugget from the ice cream van back in the day. Oh, was that a black man? It was like, wasn't it? Okay, don't repeat it, but the question is, did we call that a black man? I think we did. We were kids. The name of the 99 flake, an ice cream cone traditionally served with a Cadbury's flake perched inside, was reportedly inspired by Italian royalty. Okay. So it wasn't 99 pence, because that would have been far too much, I think. It all stems back to Italian soft ice cream makers working in County Durham in the 1920s who decided to incorporate the flake into their ice creams in order to increase interest and boost sales. Huh. Let's see. Their chosen combination proved very popular, so much so that they needed to devise a memorable name for their innovative creation. So the 99. Wow, we're getting a real history lesson here. This is awesome. Consisting, okay, hang on. In the days of the monarchy in Italy, the king had specifically chosen guard consisting of 99 men, and subsequently anything else really special or first class was known as 99. Fantastic, thank you. Yeah, I knew that 99p wasn't going to fly back then. The Lego does look nice retro box. Yeah, it's a classic 80s beauty. Often because people named Richard often go by Dick. Ah, of course. Silly me. And for yeah, okay, so it was. Yeah. I can remember my grandma talking about them. Can't change the past. Onto a quick discussion about eBay recently. So I don't know how many of you good people are on Twitter, but if you're not, please follow all things 80s. I would be very much obliged if you would do that. Help me out. But I was in the market for a vintage G1 hubcap, which is the hardest to find of the mini bots. I'm pretty much sticking to the first 3 waves of the original G1s. And the only mini bot I'm missing, I think anyway, was hubcap. And I was looking, and in America, they were set, or the asking price was, upwards like $70 and up with $5 shipping. But I found one in the UK for £25, which equates to $30, which is very reasonable. However, the shipping price, I'm going to show you this up close. Hopefully it will show through there. Shipping price, Great British pounds, £46 for shipping, which equates to $55 to ship a little toy this size from the UK to America. Like, what the hell is that? That cannot be real. So when I sell things on eBay and I'm doing the listing, I enter the weight and the dimensions of the package and let eBay calculate how much shipping will cost. And for the most part, they get it right. In most cases, I end up making maybe $1 off whatever the customer pays. But where are they getting like $50 to ship a small toy from the UK to America? And it makes a complete mockery because the sale price was, what did I say? The item itself was £25 and the shipping was £46. That's almost double the price of the item to ship it. That cannot be right. And it means that I cannot buy from the UK. And the problem with that is that all of my childhood memories are from the UK. So, for example, Action Force was never a thing in America. And there are some people selling Action Force, but they're rather expensive, whereas there's a ton of Action Force for sale in the UK, but with shipping prices like these, impossible for me to do that. I recently looked at a comic from the UK, one comic, and the quoted shipping price was like $24 to send a comic. Come on, can't be right. So anyway, I'm assuming that within the UK, the shipping prices aren't quite as bad as that. I mean, in America, up to £1 in weight, I can ship for typically $4 or $5 first class, which isn't at all bad. But sadly, once you go over £1, you have to buy priority shipping, and that starts about $8, I think. So the shipping is really killing eBay for me, in both directions. because I know that I cannot offer free shipping when I sell something. So therefore, I have to charge shipping, and that puts people off. So how people can afford to offer free shipping blows my mind. I don't know how they do that. Dick goes in ya. Gotcha. I like that, actually. Hi, Dean. The new Lego set inspired castle coming out in August. Ah, I've not seen that. Has that been advertised on the Lego website? I had a couple of knights as a kid, but I never actually had the castle when I was a kid. That was all about the space stuff. And I've still got it all with me here. I've just not gone through it. So over there, behind that door that you can't see, is a massive storage bin with all my childhood Lego. It does need cleaned. I will do that at some point. And oh, thank you, Steve. I'm glad you're here. Did you ever have SodaStream as a kid? I had a habit of making it one fart too many, and it would be pitching all over the place. Of course I did. I got one for Christmas this year, and it's been fantastic. Saved me a ton of money buying Coke and stuff. I highly recommend it. But yeah, I had one as a kid. But the one I had those much slimmer sort of glass bottles with the white caps. And yeah, the one we had, it had like a brown plastic handle you would lift, which would lift the little plate up and push the bottle into the gas dispenser. You had to hold that and press on it. Yeah, it was fantastic. Posted prices have gone up a lot. Larger boxes have an extra charge that is 30 to 50 US depending on the weight and size. Excuse me. There are boxes on the bigger size, but yeah, this years ago this charge didn't exist. Yeah, it really is. It's got to the point where it's almost not worth selling on eBay anymore, because there are so many of the big companies selling on eBay, and they can afford to give free shipping, so people will always buy from them first. Unless you have like a really hard to find item, I think eBay is a waste of time nowadays for selling, that is. And in fact, what also sucked was a few years back, you could buy on eBay and there was no sales tax. I would buy a lot of household stuff on eBay and avoid paying, like in New York, it's like 9.25% on top of what the asking price. And you could avoid that by buying stuff on eBay. And of course, the government got wise to that. So now we're paying sales tax on our everything you buy on eBay. It sucks. Sadly, Dean, the postage has gone up a lot. I used to send to USA anything under 700 gram would cost me 27. Geez, that is ridiculous. What's 700 gram in pound? Alexa, 700 grams to pounds.
700 grams is about 1 pound 9 ounces.
So just over a pound. Jesus, 27. In fact, you know what? That's not so far removed from what I've paid going to the UK. That's ridiculous. But then again, 27 pounds is a hell of a lot less than the 50 odd, or the shit, what was it? Because let's be honest, a G1 hubcap is definitely way under 700 grams, and they are asking 46 pounds for that. So yeah, something's amiss with these listings. Retro Future, time for a few collectors to form a club of international buyers, get stuff shipped internally and then forwarded overseas in bulk. Other members then forward on. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Uh-oh. Hello. I'm well behaved. I'm taking it easier today. So today's drink is Iron Maiden Trooper. So it's not like with the Coors Light, I can guzzle that like crazy. So I'm being well behaved, honest. Oh, thank you, Ben. Now you've set off Alexa next to me. Oh, I do apologize. There's a commercial right now for Buick, and the Buick has that device incorporated into it, and the commercial sets these off as well. It's bloody annoying. Monkey Boy, oh, thank you. My older brother had a home-based post system in the early 2000s. Can't remember the name, unfortunately. And he helped me ship a few guitar effects boxes I'd sold for free. Well, that's the thing. A few years ago, I had a nice sort of side business going where I was buying brand new electric guitars and then taking them apart and selling each part separately. And it was bloody good. It was profitable. And then the shipping charges increased. I had to stop. It was impossible to continue because I was able to ship a guitar neck in one of the special USPS triangular document boxes for about $8. And then overnight, that charge jumped to about $18. And no one was going to pay that when they'd been previously paying $8. So that was the end of that. It really did suck. And even now, I had to ship. Well, this was a few years ago now. I had to ship a very important document back to the UK. And this was about 4 sheets of paper. And it had to go there ASAP type thing. And those 4 sheets of paper, I think, cost me about $80 to ship to the UK. Bloody ridiculous. I do wonder if eBay saw hubcap and thought it was a car hubcap. You never know. That's quite funny, actually. Hit the thumbs up, people. Thank you, Melvor. Yeah, please do. I would appreciate that. I sold something on eBay a couple of weeks back, ended at 99p. eBay charges were £1. It was hard to motivate myself to post that one. Yeah. And do you know, I think it was last year. I don't know what I did, but I did something wrong. I know what I did. Yes. I listed something and by mistake, I clicked on free shipping. And it sold for a very low amount. And in the end, I made like a net loss of about $5. It cost me $5 to send something to somebody. It was my mistake, of course, but you know, these things happen. Another eBay complaint I have, when you sell something for a buy it now and you put a best offer or you tick the best offer box. I've had a few in the past year that really pissed me off. I was selling something, I forget what it was, but my asking price was like $300. In fact, you know what it was? It was a mask manta sealed in box. I had it up, buy it now for $300 or make a best offer. People were offering me like $50, $60, and I would just hit decline. And this one guy offered 50, I declined. He offered 55, I declined. He offered 60, I declined. He writes back, "Stop declining and tell me what you want." And I said, "Use your common sense, man. If I'm asking 300, I would like 300. Do not expect me to accept $50 or $60. I mean, come on, common sense." So whenever I put in a best offer, if I'm looking to buy something, I'm not looking to insult that person. So if something, for example, I bought, what was it? It was probably Batman related, but I think the asking price was 80. So I offered 72 and it was immediately accepted. You know, I wouldn't dream of insulting someone with a terrible offer like that. It really is insulting, actually. Will they ever make that with more whimsical voices, like the computer from Star Trek? Mr. T, picture it. Mr. T, what you want, fool? Yeah, I'm not sure if you can change the voice or not. I got to be honest. Like I held back for the longest time. I only got this for 2 reasons. One was last Christmas, we had so many lights going on in different parts that were really hard to access. So we thought, okay, we get the smart plugs, we get that, it can all work. And it worked an absolute treat. But the funny thing was, to buy that one device, it's just a small one. I went to Amazon, and to buy that device was $25. But then next to it, you could buy that device with a smart light bulb also for $25. So I thought, to hang with it, let me try both. So I got the Alexa and the smart light bulb. Fantastic, love it. I know it's spying on me, but as long as it doesn't catch me jerking off, who cares, right? The lowball offers, I hate them. Yeah, it's actually insulting. Yeah, to auto decline, that's true. Although part of me likes to engage and just to try and see what their, mindset is. Yeah, it absolutely it is an easy fix, but sometimes I like to sort of tell people I like to tell them off when they keep coming back and say, "Oh, why won't you accept my offer?" I'm like, dude, I'm asking 300. How can you possibly expect me to accept $50? Terrible. Some real weirdos. I want to pick up my collector's display case this week. Thought I'd save a few quid. Postage would have been 60. Petrol cost 80. Wow. Yeah. Whilst I gave up my car back in 2016 and have desperately missed it, the price of gas here is just absolutely ridiculous now. By my calculation, back in 2016, I was filling the tank for about $35. I think now, let me just work this out. So 35 would fill the tank from empty. Now I'm thinking filling the tank would be 90. So there you go. Hell of a difference. Oops. Monkey Boy wants it with Frank Spencer's voice. Yes. How can a light bulb be smart? I guess the light bulb itself isn't smart, but the fact that you can turn it on and change the color with your voice is kind of smart. I'm not Claus. It's me, Alexa, bro. Yeah. So I'm getting close to that first bathroom break. And we've gone almost an hour, which is quite remarkable, actually. I've had a number of these, but we're doing okay bladder-wise. Monkey Boy, I put a tenner in my car, and it gained me 60 miles. Wow, that is terrible. Really is. Oh, hi, Rich. It's good to see you here. And darn, Dean, I just seen you were streaming late to the park, but hey, well, thank you, Nick. The only one, Kenobi. There is only one. Well, there's actually now three, isn't there? There's you, there's Alec Guinness, and Ewan McGregor. Now, like I said, very close to the first bathroom break, and I will post the link. And if anyone wants to come on to talk about the conclusion of the series of the very man we have on screen right now, you're more than welcome. Excuse me. I'll say this up front. I didn't hate it. I just thought it was all a bit pointless and was riddled with plot holes, but we'll get to that. Lone Dragon says, just keep a bucket under your desk. Yeah, although it would sound like Niagara Falls, though. That's the problem. I don't know. I'm assuming I'm not alone in this, whereby once you start drinking ale, you can go for 5-6 pints, not use the bathroom, then you go once, and that is it. The rest of your night is spent back and forth. I'm just wondering if I would be better off drinking short drinks. But then again, though I don't do well, I end up getting wasted. And as we saw a month or so back, it's not a pleasant scene. The party, yeah, I knew what you meant, man. Of course not. You're more than welcome. Love to hear your thoughts. Keep doing what you do. Love AT8 together with Retro Plastic and Analog Toys. You're my top 3 toys. Well, thank you, Tony. I'll have to dip out at that point. I've only seen the first 4 episodes. Okay, like I said, I will give plenty of forewarning before we start talking about it. So you've seen the first 4. I've only seen each one once, and that's probably be the only time I watch it. so I don't quite remember what was going on with each episode. Is that the one where he got picked up by the weird alien farmer type character on the back of that truck? I just remember from that one where he gets the name of Leia wrong, and the stormtrooper says, "Hey, why did you say this?" And Kenobi says, "Well, it's a long story." And the stormtrooper says, "Well, we have a long journey." But then the next clip, the stormtroopers get off at their destination. All a bit silly, really. Additional, most flattering thing I've ever heard anyone say to be listed with all those legends. Ah, yeah. You're in good company with those people who have betrayed Kenobi. I'm in late to out fishing with the kiddos. Excited to watch this later with a cool one. Nice. Thank you, Rich. British problems, waiting for the first one, then spending the rest of the evening with your legs crossed. Yeah, it really is. How does that happen, though? Like, if you've built up, say, 5 or 6 pints, you go to the bathroom, you let it all out, then you go back, you have a few more sips, you have to go again. I don't get that. Ben says, good to see you, man. Need to ask you a question about one particular stash you have. A stash, you say? Ah, Gerard is here. Good to see you, my man. Anyone from the UK have opinions on Iron Maiden beer? It's not terrible. It's all right. And the fact that it has Eddie on the can, to me, is an absolute bonus. Two of my favorite things, Iron Maiden and beer. You know, what's not to like? Late to the parade. Hope you're all well. Yeah, I hope you're well too. So, have I covered everything I wanted to cover, which was that the response to the Super 7 video was very positive, and I'm glad it worked. I was sick and tired of hearing people bash on Super 7 when I've had nothing but positive experiences. I've had my little rant about eBay and the shipping. Excuse me. So, next step, post the link. Oh, hang on. I got to address this. Tree Theodore, thank you so much. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you, MT, for your efforts in moderating. Enjoying your live stream, AT8. Well, thank you so much. I haven't seen anything bad come up yet on the chat, which is a good sign. There's been a lot of these sex bots commenting on live streams lately. They don't appear to have hit me thus far, which is good. But thank you, Tree. That is incredibly kind of you. Episode 4 was the rescue mission. Rescue. You know what? I don't even remember now. It's all just merged into each other, which is not a good sign. Hi. Lamb of God have a line of beer from Brewdog. It's all right, all right, all right. I think also as well, so this is Robinson's. I think Iron Maiden are doing one with Brewdog as well that I've not seen yet. Sadly, though, I've still never seen Megadeth beer or Pantera beer. That's not to say it's not here yet, but the trouble is where I buy this. So we have a news agent. It's not even a news agent. What am I saying? We have it's not even a deli. We have a cigarette. It's not even a cigarette shop. Fuck. They sell mostly beer. They have a few chips and snacks and things. And they do have cigarettes, I believe. But the owners are obviously they're Indian people. Not that that makes a difference, but I don't think they realize that you should stack Iron Maiden beer with Megadeth beer, with Pantera beer, with Lamb of God beer, etc. So you have to walk around all their chillers to try and see if they have the beer you're wanting. And it becomes a blur at some point. They've got there's so many of these microbreweries with these fancy cans that it all blends into each other. So the fact that I found these was a miracle. But yes, let me know the opinion of the Robinson's Iron Maiden beer back in the UK. Hiya, Ben. Yeah, of course. Oh, with an ale. Nice. let me do this. And also, I need to stress as well, I will need to cut this off at 5 for me, which is what, 10 UK. So if I copy that, and if I post this, it should work. Let me see. That's gone up, I think. So let me mute my microphone. No one needs to hear the racehorse peeing. And let me bring up the little screen. So I'm going to mute, I'm going to pee, and I'll be right back. Don't go away. I'm at 44 right now. Aha! I'm back, and I hope I'm not muted. I think I'm okay. So we have not one, but two guests coming up for this. So let me just keep an eye on the YouTube feed to make sure that it does indeed, this is in fact working. It isn't. Okay, so there we go. We're back. All is working. First up, this person you all know and love. He's been on the show the last few weeks. Monkey Boy, how are you?
Oh, hello, Dean, and hello, everyone. Thank you for saying those nice things. That's very kind.
Oh, you're welcome. It's good to see you again.
You
And
too,
someone who has been extremely kind to this channel in the past, and I'm glad to have him on. It's
again.
Travels with Jason F. How are you?
buddy.
Hi.
Hello, dude.
Hello,
Oh.
mate.
It's good to actually, I think this is the first time we've ever actually spoken directly, is it? Would that be
It's
right?
10 years.
Wow. So it's good to have you on. So let me just catch up with this chat, and then we'll give plenty of warning of spoilers ahead. Now, I'm assuming, Jason, that you have seen all 6
I've seen it
episodes.
all.
Okay. Good to see you. That's always a pleasure. Absolutely, yes. Hi. Fun fact, Bruce Dickinson's cousin, Rob Dickinson from the band Catherine Wheel, now rebuilds Porsches in the US. Now they were a band. Wow, I didn't know that. Tree Theodore, man. Hey, Monkey Boy.
Hello.
And then we have one. Is that Travels with Jason? It certainly is.
It is.
If I hide this comment, you will see the names pop up there. So there we go. So we've all seen. Okay, fair warning to everyone who is watching this. we're about to discuss the entire series of Disney's Obi-Wan Kenobi. So if you've not seen it, you may want to go away, watch it, and then maybe watch the stream back again. So there will be spoilers. You have been warned. So I guess we'll go around the room. Starting with Monkey Boy, what was your overall feeling on the entire series?
I found it very underwhelming. I was disappointed, I must say. There were one or two moments that were okay, but I think that's about as good as it got. For me, there were actually some better moments in Book of Boba Fett. I know it's probably controversial opinion there, but yeah, I really wasn't very impressed with very much of Kenobi at all.
Yeah. And what about you, Jason?
Probably about 50-50, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple of good episodes, and some of the episodes had good bits out of them. But the rest of them, sometimes it was like,
So, as I said earlier, I didn't hate it.
No, definitely not.
I was just, as you said, Monkey Boy, I was underwhelmed by it. But for me, the overriding problem was the lack of jeopardy in all the scenes.
Yeah.
Now, for example, yesterday when I watched episode 6 and I'm watching Vader and Obi-Wan face off, all I'm thinking in my head is, how are they going to do it in such a way that both survive? And that's not what a duel is all about. So
no, I wondered the same thing.
Yeah,
so
going back to episode 1, that final duel with the two Jedis and Darth Maul, I had no idea. Well, obviously, the one thing I knew was that Obi-Wan Kenobi survived. That's the only thing I knew. I had no idea going into it that Liam Neeson was going to die and that Darth Maul was going to get sliced in half. And the whole time I'm watching it, I was on edge because I didn't know what was going to happen. Whereas yesterday, I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it was just so underwhelming. Now, furthermore, they have basically shown the lightsaber to be a pretty useless weapon.
Oh, definitely.
Given that, I'm sure there were others that I'm missing, but the fact that one, poke through the body of Han Solo killed him, Qui-Gon Jinn died at the same way, and yet these two characters we saw completely survived, pretty unscathed. I mean, I'm just sort of spouting off things that are coming into my head in no particular order. But how about this? If you were 10 years old and someone gave you a toy that was so special to you that you were playing with that toy 10 years later, wouldn't you remember the person that gave you that toy?
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, that was a massive fail. Just to get that "hello there" line put in.
Yeah.
And did I hear right? Was that Alice Giddy's voice that they put in there?
Oh, I don't know.
But it half sounded like him.
Well, the thing as well is that I felt throughout the whole series, because obviously I can hear it probably more than you guys could hear, but there were times he was very Alec Guinness, and other times I could really hear the Scottish accent coming through. It was not a consistent voice he used. Which, again, how does that get past the director who's on set?
Yeah, they were clearly paying attention to other things, not the plot and not the performances.
Yeah,
maybe the budget. I don't know.
And another thing as well, I found myself on episode 6. I kept thinking, when will Liam Neeson appear?
Yes.
And you shouldn't be watching a show asking yourself, when will something happen? You should be so engrossed in the show that it just flows. But no, the whole time I had all these other thoughts of, when will this happen? When will that happen? And it really took away from the enjoyment.
Well, it was like the big fight scene at the end where you got the aunt and uncle. Because you already seen them in episode 4, or as we all knew as Star Wars,
Yeah.
that they're all going to live. So it was like, but the only thing I wonder, because obviously Luke didn't know nothing about Jedi back in that one, where he's being knocked onto the floor, does he have basically, he's lost, he doesn't realise, is that memory being blocked? That is that what they're going to do? So he basically lost his memory from that.
Well,
that's
it's a bit convenient, isn't it? I mean, but like I said, if someone gave you a toy that you had kept from the ages of 10 to 20 and still played with it when you were 20, you would know damn well who gave you that toy.
Yeah.
That was a terrible part of the movie. I did enjoy seeing the Emperor briefly appear. That was nice. But the whole thing felt like it was just pointless, in my opinion. Nothing happened within that story that made any difference, except to say that the fact that the events that took place in Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi could have been entirely avoided if Obi-Wan Kenobi had just done a mercy killing on his friend who was clearly suffering in pain, was wheezing, couldn't breathe, was clearly a danger to the whole galaxy. Just give him a mercy killing. It's all done.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think they were setting up for season 2? Because I've been hearing rumors they're going to do a season 2, and it does make you wonder.
Yeah.
Basically, you don't see. Is her name Reva? You don't see her again. So it's like, are you setting things up for a second season?
And talking of her, what was she going to achieve by killing Luke? Because at that stage of things, Darth Vader didn't know he had a son called Luke. So by her killing him, what would that have achieved? Nothing, right?
Yeah, it's just lazy storytelling. It was just an excuse for her to have to get somewhere and have to turn up with a tummy ache. Oh dear, I've had a lightsaber through me. Never mind.
Yeah. I'm going to try and get some chat up here. I'm not sure what I got to, so I do apologize if I've missed your comment. It's not on purpose, I promise. Just got here, not sure what the topic is. Nice. Well, thank you, Ryan. Muting now. Take care. Okay. I'm assuming you've not seen the full series yet. Is my T-16 Skyhopper back in fashion now? Do you think they used the actual 1995 toy for those scenes?
I don't know. It does look quite similar, but but I think it's more of a prop one because I think the 96 one's smaller.
Okay.
Well, actually, I've actually had one in my collection at one point, and it looks the one that I had as a toy is a lot smaller than the one that you see being used.
Okay. Now, do you think it was the same size as the one we see in the Star Wars movie? Did they keep that much consistent? Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I think so.
The Biker Scout says everything with Vader was fantastic, but it was almost ruined by having Reva visit the homestead. Ridiculous. Of course, it was ridiculous. Also, as well, again, I've only seen it once, probably won't see it again. But when she went to Tatooine and went to the stand of the guy selling what looked like to be cups of water and says, "Where can I find, Owen Lars?" How did that guy get to the homestead before she did to warn them? I don't know. It was all a bit,
There's nothing memorable about the show, unfortunately. I try and think back about, what did actually happen in that show, and it's just a big smush of grey. It just nothing stood out.
No, when Luke sees lightsaber for the first time in Star Wars, Obi-Wan should say, "Well, don't you remember when a Sith Inquisitor nearly tried to wipe you and your family out with it 10 years ago?" Exactly. Yeah, and but the fact that she was even in Episode 6, by itself was just ridiculous.
Well, it's also like all the Jedi that you see. Well, you don't see any Jedi, but you see their lightsabers, and obviously by the New Hope, there's no Jedi to our knowledge left, except for ones that are obviously in hiding still.
Right.
So, how many Jedi is still around and still hiding?
Yeah,
it does make you wonder, because I'm one of the people who have read all the EU stories. There was some in EU stories where there was some that hid to the very day and carried on, and some did turn to the dark side.
Yeah.
But how many they're saying? But again, were they also hunted? And obviously, you don't see them getting hunted and get killed.
Yeah. But another point is, we've seen a number of times that a lightsaber can penetrate a 2-foot steel wall and make a hole through it.
Yeah.
Having that much heat close to the essential organs of the human body would cause every organ in that body to explode and disintegrate. It's simply not possible to survive having one of those stuck through your body. As was seen by the fact that Han Solo died, Qui-Gon Jinn died. So Qui-Gon Jinn, one of the best Jedi Masters ever, can survive, cannot survive having that done to him, and yet 2 random characters can survive.
Yeah, convenient, isn't it? I was really annoyed in the 5th episode when all the stormtroopers turned up outside the rebel hideout, and they were opening up with all their firepower on that door. Well, Reva could have just walked up to it and just sliced it open with a lightsaber. There was no need for all those stormtroopers. It was silly. And then her and Obi-Wan whispering to each other through 2 feet of steel. I know there was a hole in there as well, but I found that a bit silly, the fact that they were whispering at each other.
Yeah. And only one can be. It's a great point about Liam Neeson. It didn't work. He did look strange, and wouldn't he have appeared like so? It's been established, courtesy of, was it The Last Jedi, that Yoda as a Force ghost could interact with the real world. So why wouldn't Liam Neeson or Qui-Gon Jinn have materialized in a way to help defeat Darth Vader prior to that?
Intervened in some way,
Yeah.
I did actually thought the one way they can get them both to live to the next episode, well, next film, was you can see either the ghosts basically saying to Darth Vader, basically, don't do it. Remember, he was your best friend and your master, But obviously they didn't.
The thing that really struck me was, in the whole series, there were 2 occasions where Darth Vader, who we know to be this rage-filled, angry person, did not finish off his 2 victims in the duels. So obviously, Reva, he stabs through the heart, I guess, or whatever it was, and walks away. With the Obi-Wan part 1 of the duel in the last episode, where he separates the ground and Obi-Wan Kenobi falls down, and he ironically has the high ground. He thought piling on some rocks would be better than slicing them limb by limb.
Yeah.
So You know, so Darth Vader, in other words, is not really that great of a killer, to be honest.
No, and I thought that bit where Obi-Wan used the Force and lifted up about 1,000 great big boulders and then hurled them all at Vader, and they all just broke off him, and then they just started fighting again. It was like there was no point in doing that. It did nothing. It was just
absolutely not. And I've read a few comments on other outlets whereby people were suggesting that the whole point of this show was to elevate the legend of Princess Leia. In other words, the Force is female, and she was this main. She was the main focus. And as I said to you the other day, Monkey Boy, had it been a series called The Adventures of Young Leia, in which in one episode she was captured and Obi-Wan was sent to rescue her, it would have worked perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But why have her be the focal point of a show called Obi-Wan Kenobi? Yeah. And this is a great point. He looked weird. Yeah, it was almost as bad as the one that was used in the original Empire Strikes Back. Just looked very odd. So Ben is still here, hasn't got past episode 3. It's probably not worth going any further, to be honest. Might just rewatch the Batman for the 3rd time. You know what? It's worth watching because some of the scenes are quite nice. I'll be honest. Some of it was very nicely filmed, but there was just too much sort of pandering to the hardcore fans with the Emperor and Qui-Gon Jinn appearing. It was unnecessary.
Do you think they got Liam Neeson in to do that very small part? Because he was uncredited in the. I looked for his name at the end, and it wasn't
really.
At least I didn't see it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, someone already commented they thought he looked weird. So who knows?
Yeah,
it's possible. It was nice to see that Owen and Beru were as bad a shot as every stormtrooper. Yeah. And Ben says, Kenobi sounds like a fan fiction or a what-if story from what you're saying. Rather than building up to adding to the OTE, I'm not really interested in alternate universe reboots. Yeah, that was kind of what it felt like. It was a series with no real point to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was about as much use as a hat full of hot lettuce. It really wasn't good.
Yeah, it didn't serve any. It didn't serve any additions to the original movie.
No,
it's what it was leading up to, and just left us asking a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah, and there weren't really that many set pieces. There weren't any standout scenes. The best bit, or the bit I enjoyed the most, and it really doesn't say much for the show. The bit that I enjoyed the most was when that stormtrooper fell off the top of the outpost thing and sliced himself in half on the laser barricade thing. That was the best bit. I thought, that was cool. And aside from that, I literally could just bin the rest of it.
But again, going back to that outpost, it was so ridiculous when they showed those beams going across, and then did Leia try to press a few buttons to no effect, and Obi-Wan blasted it?
I think it was Ben who tried pressing buttons.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there was a wide shot showing they could have walked around it.
Yeah.
I think if he was planning to take the vehicle,
then
go off road.
Yeah.
And that barricade should have been at the mouth of a chasm. With sheer walls either side. That's where it should have been, not in the middle of the desert, like you said, where you could have just walked around the thing. That was just, it's just bonkers.
Yeah. So going forward for Disney Star Wars, what's the next thing that were going to be served up. Is it the Cassian Andor series? Or
Yeah, I do believe so.
Right. So again, if that's obviously going to be shown prior to Rogue One, we know that he is going to survive the whole thing, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if did you ever, I know they didn't put it on there, but it was on the original ending of Rogue One. They was actually, some of them was meant to live, but they decided, nah, let's kill them all off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like somebody pointed out last week about that Andor series. To be honest, the expectations are now going to be so low, it actually might be okay. And I hadn't really thought of that, but it might be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, though, the whole point of, well, the whole Kenobi thing was pointless from the beginning because we knew that all the main characters would be fine by the end of the series.
Yeah.
And as it was, the one new character that was of any interest was this Reva character. She also survived in the end. So what was the point, you know?
Yeah, it was very low stakes from the beginning, wasn't it? I mean, there's no way around that. Whichever way you slice it, it was always going to be that. It was always going to be a bit of a damp squib, I think.
And I think if they do a second season, I think you won't see you'll see Luke in the distance.
Yeah.
But I would think this time Princess Leia would be a closed chapter. Because by then she might know him by Kenobi, not him Ben.
Yeah. And another thing I was reading today was, now, it's been a while since I watched the first Star Wars movie, but that scene where they're escaping the Death Star onto the Millennium Falcon, and Luke sees firsthand Obi-Wan die at the hands of Vader and screams out. Does Leia say that as well?
No, I don't think she does.
Not to my recollection.
I think she's already on the Millennium Falcon, and then she has to come back off and drag Luke on board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he decided basically go and chase the stormtroopers.
Yeah. But, okay, even if she didn't see it firsthand, Luke was distraught because Ben just died. Wouldn't Leia show some emotion that this guy who was been on these amazing adventures with her 10 years prior, wouldn't she show some emotion of what just happened?
Yeah.
You would have thought so.
Yeah.
They're going to save that for the special editions when they re-release the original trilogy with even more stuff. That's what they'll edit in a bit of her going, oh, Ben.
So, Biker says, why have anyone else be the focal point of a show called Obi-Wan Kenobi? That was the problem with this show. Reva should have had her own show in a different time period. Yeah. And again, I'm not following social media every minute of the day, so I've not seen what she has or what the actress has supposedly suffered at the hands of trolls and whatnot. However,
there has been some bad stuff. I'm understating, really. No, I mean, I've noticed, and it's not just Star Wars. There seems to be a lot of hated for a lot of these classic TV shows or films.
Yeah.
That there just seems to be so much hated. And I don't understand.
Right. Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I didn't particularly admire her acting abilities, and the character wasn't a great character. So therefore, no, she should never have received personal hate based on sex or skin color. Just to me, wasn't a good actress and not really a particularly good character. But the fact that she survived this series suggests there may be more to come from her, which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
Nick says, what killed off Reva like should have been served her purpose. Vader should have slaughtered her. Of course. She betrayed him, as we saw at the end of episode 5. And he sort of toyed with her and stuff. But surely someone with as much rage as Vader would have sliced her into a million pieces and be done with it.
Or just force choked her to death.
Yeah.
I mean,
like he did with many lieutenants.
But furthermore, when he had the high ground against Obi-Wan Kenobi, having split the ground, he would never have accepted piling on some rocks as being the end of things. Surely his rage would have wanted, eye for an eye type thing. So you cut off my arms, I'll bloody well cut off your arms.
Yeah.
It was terrible writing.
And considering in the previous episode when they were fighting where all that fire was, when Vader made the fire, and then he levitated Obi-Wan off the ground and was force choking him in the air. Why didn't he just do that again?
Yeah.
I got to admit, with that episode, where you see the first bit of fire is quite low.
Yeah.
And when that woman shoots something and then it comes up basically like a fireball, he didn't go over. I mean, and it's like, well, maybe because it was a fireball, or did he really just want basically Ben Kenobi to escape?
Yeah. Now, there was one scene where Obi-Wan Kenobi obviously sliced through part of Vader's helmet to expose actor Hayden Christensen, which I thought was a pretty nice touch, to be honest. Yeah. However, to see him suffering so much, wheezing and all sorts, knowing he was filled with hatred and evil, surely a good friend and mentor would just put him out of his misery once and for all.
Yeah.
That to me is unforgivable writing. It really was.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact was, for an Obi-Wan Kenobi series, should never have featured Darth Vader at all, except for flashback scenes. Yeah. Tala Durith was a brilliant character. Who is that?
I don't know.
Was that the lieutenant?
Oh yes, yes, I think so.
So was she the double agent?
Yeah, I think so. And I got to admit, I really liked her. I actually thought she might be another character who we might see in later ones, and then literally in one episode or 2 episodes later, see you later.
Yeah. I'm late to the party and haven't been able to make a live stream in a long while. You're doing an awesome job as always. Well, thank you. And great to see Monkey Boy again. A new guest. Sorry, I missed the start. No problem. I'm glad you're here.
Thanks very much.
Leia doesn't seem that bothered by Obi-Wan dying. She just says, look, it's too late. Okay. Again, when she asked for the help on the Tantive 4, she put in the message into R2D2. She asked for didn't she ask for Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah.
Sorry guys, drop the phone.
No.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
That's why I put mine on something.
So she asked for Obi-Wan Kenobi, but she knew him as Ben 10 years prior.
Yeah.
And wasn't the message, you served my father in the Clone Wars? How about, no, you saved my ass 10 years ago?
Yeah. You snuck me out of an Imperial stronghold under your coat.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to admit, with them walking out of that, out of that stronghold, to me, for a Imperial base, top base, I mean, wow. I'm not surprised no rebels have been put bombs in the place.
Now, also as well, as far as I recall, and bearing in mind, I'm not a big Star Wars nerd, but I don't think I've seen an Imperial with a beard before?
I think there was one in Solo.
Oh, okay.
I think, and I've only watched it, I think, once or twice, and well, can't.
Yeah.
But otherwise, can't remember.
Yeah. I mean, but not only that though, that was a scruffy beard, and
Yeah.
Imperials could not have scruffy beards.
No.
And
Oh yeah, very bad.
It looked terrible. So Nick says, totally Dean, completely forgot about any remorse shown by Leia at old Ben's death. Suppose you could spin it by how focused and mature Leia is. Good point, though. They're just shredding the OT. Yep. Absolutely. Melvor says, Grand Inquisitor killed Flea for much less, but let her live. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I was upset not to see the fifth brother in the final episode. I wanted him to make another appearance. I thought he was really good. I really hope he comes back in the next season.
Yeah.
He's just a big quartz mushroom. I love him. He's really good.
Yeah. There are so many fans who don't realize that hatred isn't what Star Wars is about. Moses Ingram is a great actor. Her dialogue lines were poor. She can't do anything about that. Well, that's true, because let's be honest, the prequel trilogy had some good actors, but terrible lines. So, yeah, I mean, I just felt that in the first few episodes of this series, she tried too hard to be evil and nasty, and it was so apparent. It wasn't good acting by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I think she would have done. Sorry, go on.
You know when we're talking about the base, well, it reminded me of something because years and years ago I used to be a cleaner, and I was a scruffy old git or a young git, and I'm mean scruffy. I worked on an army base.
Yeah.
The most unkept person, walking on this army base, and I would go past officers, I would go past sergeants, and I didn't have my IT tag showing, and not one of them ever pulled me up. Never asked you, excuse me, can we see your ID? You meant be on our base? Not one. I think a lot of the attitude was, oh, you're on the base, you must be okay. You must be.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about that Imperial base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was very much something you would have seen in like 1970s comedy, where the four legs under the big trench coat.
And Benny Hill walking behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was silly.
Also, I don't want to give the impression that I'm someone that hates everything modern Star Wars. I don't hate it. I love
Mandalorian.
Yeah, I can just call out bullshit when I see it. And sadly, this was not particularly good, well-written TV. And
sadly not.
It also kind of, sort of, I wouldn't say it ruined what I enjoyed as a kid, but it just didn't make any sense to the things that I enjoyed as a kid.
Yeah. I thought that it had a very big whiff of committee about it.
Yeah, very much. And I think in the final sort of 5 minutes, they almost realized they had to do something to get old school fans on board.
Yeah.
And that's why we saw the Emperor and Qui-Gon Jinn appear. No real reason to add those two. It served no purpose.
No.
Yeah.
I think just a layup for the second season. I think that it was just to make it obvious that there was going to be some sort of continuation. I think. I mean, it's very lazy.
Yeah. So Nick says the fifth brother was great.
Nick, yes, he was. He was very good.
Yeah. Favorite Star Wars movie? Well, for me, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, Empire. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jason, all agreed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then the next one after that has got to be Rogue One.
Huh.
Interesting. I think Jedi would be my next favourite, and then probably Star Wars, and then Rogue One. I think the original trilogy still have it for me.
Yeah.
Still have it.
Well,
Rogue One was very good.
Well, you see, for me, it's all about the pleasure I had as a kid, and that was mostly based on action figure card backs, believe it or not, because I didn't see the movies in the correct sequence.
Same.
Yeah. So for me,
I saw Empire Strikes Back first.
Oh, wow.
And Star Wars came on TV, like you remember, Dean.
Yeah.
It was on every year after a certain year. Every time of Christmas, you knew Star Wars be on one of them films on Christmas Day.
Oh,
yeah.
And that's how I saw it.
Yeah. I mean, because I was Star Wars, Jedi, Empire, but for me, the enjoyment came from seeing those images on the card backs and also a couple of books and things. But my probably all-time favorite Star Wars memory would have been Christmas Day. I'm going to say like 81, 82, where the adults were in the living room, drinking and probably smoking cigars or something. But I was left by myself, and I went to the dining room where a really nice dining table with some nice sort of sculpted feet on the table, and I would lie back on those feet and pretend I was Luke Skywalker on the Millennium Falcon blasting TIE fighters.
Yeah.
So for me, the movies weren't that big of a deal. It was more pretending and also the toys.
Yeah, it was all about imagination for us kids.
Yeah. So in other words, the story being told on screen wasn't that big of a deal to me as a kid, because it, like I said, I saw the movies in the wrong sequence. I remember thinking it was my friend's birthday in May of 1983, and his party involved going to the theater to see Jedi. And I'm sitting there thinking, why is Han Solo frozen? It made no sense to me.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, though, to this day, seeing Luke Skywalker do his flip on the board and grab the green lightsaber was one of the best things I ever saw in my whole life.
Yeah.
And basically, because of that, to me, the movies were secondary to the experience and the toys.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why we still collect. Well, we either gone back to collecting our toys, or some of us have been lucky and we kept our original toys.
Yeah,
it's all about re-feeling what we had.
Right, exactly. It's all about the memories. Gerard says Empire for him.
I remember getting my father used to own a toy shop.
Nice.
And I remember getting Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader as the Kenner 3 3/3, and I remember getting those. And at that point, I hadn't actually seen the film yet, so I was playing with those figures before I even knew what the context was. And I looked at it and I thought, Luke Skywalker, I don't know who that is, but I enjoyed playing sword fighting with the characters. And then later I saw. I think Empire. I think might have been the first one I saw. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back. But gentlemen, please continue the conversation. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll take this opportunity to show my my bib army, because I've had a few people ask about this. Here you go. Here you go. Travels with Jason F. Have a look at my bib army. I don't know if you can see it there.
How many?
There are 99 here. There is one. There's one more in a box down to my left, and then I've got one with a burgundy coat that's on the top of my fridge. But I've got 99 here. So there they all are. They've each got a separate name, so I'll go through them all one by one now. No, I'm only joking. So yeah, there's the Bib Army. I went a little bit mad, and
well, I think a lot of us do go a bit mad.
Well, it wasn't meant to be my focus. I mean, it's strangely, Bib Fortuna is not my favourite character. I think my favourite character is probably Boosh.
Yes,
maybe Bosk. But I don't have hundreds of those. But I bought a couple on eBay, and then thought, well, I've got a couple, I might as well have a couple more. And then I found there was a seller that was selling a lot of, I think about 15 or 16 of them, and I thought, well, I might as well buy that lot as well.
Yeah,
and
why
then
not?
just snowballed from there. And I thought, well, you know, if I've got 30, I might as well have 40, might as well have 50.
Yeah.
But now I've got 101, and I think that's a good number to stop on. I think 101.
Well, I started back in 95, 96. I started going to the first small independent comic cons around the UK.
Yeah.
And I started buying the autographs from the Star Wars guys. That's who ever was there, was all the Star Wars people.
Yeah.
And there was, well, still silly money, you know, £5. I mean, the most autograph that I never get because how expensive he was back in that was Dave Prout. He wanted £10. I went, I ain't paying £10 for him. Everybody else is charging £5. No. Well, biggest mistake.
Yeah, that would be worth some serious bucks now.
Yeah, I actually met Uncle Owen. I did at the one of them Comic Cons back in the year, and I still got his autograph and his picture on the wall.
Nice.
So in conclusion, we all agree that whilst the Kenobi show wasn't terrible, it was just pointless, really, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Almost worth a watch. Almost.
Yeah. Oh, I would say to everyone, give it a chance. Maybe you might like it. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It just didn't really excite me at all. It didn't grip me.
You knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Wow, Biker Scout liked General Medine as a figure.
Oh, okay.
Thought he was going to be a main hero. Yeah, he had what? Did he have any lines in the movie at all, or did he just appear?
I think he had a couple. I think.
Yeah, I think he mumbled a couple of things. I'm not sure.
I just know that. Yeah, I just know that for me, I always assumed, because now bearing in mind that Pruneface came out after I stopped buying figures. So when I got back into collecting, I assumed that Pruneface was part of Jabba the Hutt's crew. But he's not. He's part of the Rebel Alliance. And he is.
You know what? I didn't even realise that till about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that until about 2 seconds ago.
He actually is a genuine blink and you'll miss him character. But he is there at the briefing prior to the final run on the second Death Star.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assumed he was one of Jabba's goons.
Yep. I always thought that, but no.
Oh, wow. Well, you learn something every day. Thank you.
Certainly do.
Okay, great point, Nick. Also, in the final episode of Kenobi, Vader says, "Ready my ship," and I am waiting for Darth Vader's TIE fighter. It was a shuttle.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? That was quite ridiculous. A real wasted chance there.
Although I think as a youngster, when I was playing with the toys, I think I used to call the shuttle Vader's ship as well. I think.
Yeah.
There was Vader's ship was the shuttle, and then Vader's TIE fighter was Vader's TIE fighter. I don't know, but I guess as a kid, I didn't really know any better.
No, but given that we've had like 40 years to digest the fact that Vader's ship is his TIE fighter, why they didn't use that in this show, and also as well at the opening of episode 6, where the Imperial Star Destroyer is pursuing that transport ship, which is a piece of junk. It cannot hit this thing with the laser torpedoes. Launch the TIE fighters.
Yeah.
Or use the Force to pull the ship closer, because he was close enough to it. I don't see why he couldn't have used the Force.
Yeah, but didn't in episode 4, didn't the tractor beam pull in the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
So they were so close. Yeah. More bad writing. I think they made Pruneface Special Forces sharpshooter in the Star Wars Storyverse.
Yeah.
Okay. Great pub chat. Awesome. That's a fantastic comment. Thank you for that. Tree Theodore says, the theater was electric in 77, standing on the seats, cheering, and the afterglow recounting all the scenes. Yeah. But let's be honest, back in 77, that was the most amazing thing anyone had ever seen at that point.
And you think he got turned down by some major people. They said this film would never work.
Yeah. Well, didn't a number of record companies turn down the Beatles as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Just goes to show you.
I can still remember watching Jedi in the cinema. My mum took me to see it, and I was fine all up until the end when when Luke took Vader's mask off and Vader died, and for some reason that just undid me, and I was in floods of tears. I just could not handle the fact that Vader died.
Well, for me, I was in tears when Yoda passed away.
No, I was fine with him. I was like, no, he's okay. That's fine. But Vader dying really got me. It really did get me.
I mean, now this is confession time. Okay, I will say this much because I don't care what people think of me. Yesterday, watching it, when Qui-Gon Jinn appeared and they were interacting, I did have a little tear come out my eye.
Oh,
yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, it was kind of special in a way because I remember the hype for episode 1 and I really bought into it. And for the most part, it was a pretty enjoyable movie, but
I liked him.
Yeah, but that final duel was the best thing I'd ever seen up until that point in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. And like I said earlier, because I didn't know what was going to happen, I was on the edge of my seat. I was taking every hit because I didn't know what was coming next. Whereas yesterday, I knew whatever happened had no consequence.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was all in all, Kenobi was pretty underwhelming. Is that the general consensus?
I would have said so.
Yeah, guitar bands are on their way out, Mr. Epstein. Yeah. I had loads of tears of nostalgia. It's a brilliant thing. Yeah, there's something about. Well, again, going back to the Mandalorian season 2, when the real Luke Skywalker showed up, that made me incredibly emotional because that was what I'd been wishing for decades. That really hit the spot.
Yeah, that was good.
I used to think of the shuttle as the Emperor's ship, and Vader boarded it to get to Endor until the special editions put one in ESB. Yeah, that was the Emperor's ride. I shed a tear, Dean, on Alderaan when Kenobi did the qualities of your mother-father speech. Beautiful. I admit that was pretty nice, actually. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing as well. Don't forget, Ewan McGregor is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, he is.
I just felt that some of the story was beneath his acting ability.
But don't you also, going back to the toys?
Yeah.
But isn't it funny how our minds work back as we were kids? It wasn't until later on when you looked at them figures, when you got a bit more adult, it's like, these figures don't look nothing like the character, especially the face.
Right.
You know, it's amazing how the brains of the young, you know, so, as soon as you saw that figure, that was Luke, that was Han. You know?
Yeah.
The face may not look anything like them.
No. But
they was.
No, but again, we were, well, I'm talking what? So my first Star Wars figure was in 1980, I believe. So I was, 6 maybe.
Yeah, snap.
And for me, the card backs told me the story of Star Wars without having actually seen the movie yet. And I kind of followed things on. I think I had a couple of books. I had one of those cassette tapes with a read-along book type thing, which filled in the blanks for me. But seeing it on screen for the first time, but when I say on screen, we're talking TV, because with a VHS tape, and we're talking, 20-inch at most?
Oh, definitely.
Back then?
Yeah, they weren't that big.
Nah, but yeah, you're right, like 17, 18-inch TV or something. But for me, the whole mystique of Star Wars came from the toys and not the actual movies, which is quite a bizarre way of looking at things. But that is why, to this day, I am not what you would call a Star Wars fanboy. I am a fan of my memories, and for me, it's all about the experience of getting these toys, these £1.50 action figures, and rip it. And when I say ripping open, I mean ripping that thing off with no concern about the image whatsoever.
Yeah, and then take a big deep sniff.
Yeah. It's just a case of getting that thing out and holding it and playing with it. And nothing will ever beat those feelings. So no matter what Disney or Lucasfilm do in the future, nothing can replace the feeling of joy that I had as a kid experiencing Star Wars for the first time. Does that kind of sum things up, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nothing quite came close to that, really. The only thing that I think might have come somewhere near that was when I saw Ghostbusters for the first time, because that really blew me away as well. But
second one for me.
Yeah.
You remember the end scene of Ghostbusters when they all started doing the sing song? You know, I really did enjoy it.
But is this a case of you really had to be there to appreciate it? Because I know there are people who are now like in their 20s claim to be like these really big Star Wars fans, and that's all good for them. But unless you were there back in the day experiencing it firsthand, we are the genuine fans, I believe.
No, I don't think. I think you can be a fan of any age. I mean, we are the first gen.
Yeah.
You know, fourth. But if we die down and no one else, these toys would be in the bins by now. Or give it another 20 years down the line, there'd be no one collecting them. They'd be like, oh, you know, let's go and recycle them.
But I just wonder if in 10, 20 years' time, if the people who are in their like 20s, 30s now who are buying Black Series, will they care about vintage Kenner?
I think they will.
I hope so.
Or should I rephrase it? I think some will and some won't. I mean, I've collected on and off over the years, just like you do, where sometimes you have to sell your stuff because you needed to.
Right.
And I've always gone back to it. And sometimes I don't realize how much I love that item.
Yeah.
That, you know.
But here's my question. Is it the item or is it the memory of the item?
Yeah, I think nostalgia does play a big part in it, doesn't it? I mean, there's no real feeling quite like it.
No, there really isn't. And I think I am blessed in as much as I have a lot of vivid memories of the early 80s,
Yes.
where I can pinpoint where I bought certain figures, who I was with, how much it cost, etc. And that to me is so special. And
Yeah, I don't remember all.
Yeah.
But I do remember certain, and probably the same as you two. I remember certain things at certain times, and maybe it wasn't Star Wars. It may be. I mean, you probably both remember Britain's.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I remember my aunt and uncle taking me into Gamley's and buying me the Jerry half track.
Uh-huh.
And I remember that as clear as a bell, even now after 30-something years later.
Yeah. I mean, for example, I can tell you, and this is the God's honest truth, back in probably like 82 or 83, I had to go to the dentist and the hairdresser on the same day. And my mom felt so bad for me. She said, okay, this has been such a bad day for you. I will buy you a Star Wars figure to make you happy. And that Star Wars figure was the Tusken Raider. And I can remember clear as day, because I remember being in the dentist chair getting drilled and all this shit and getting my hair cut off, but going to the co-op upstairs and getting a Tusken Raider. And for that reason, I remember just getting that figure and feeling so happy about it.
Mm.
And again, at that point, I probably hadn't even seen any of the movies. I didn't care. I just wanted the toys.
So I can remember getting the Emperor and Nien Nun.
Yes, I got. To be fair, I got the Nien Nun mail away.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
By the time the Emperor was available, I had stopped Star Wars. So I didn't know about him. Yeah.
I believe, unless my memory is failing me, but I believe I got the Emperor on the back of a Kellogg's thing. Wow. I think so. I might be misremembering that, but I believe definitely Nien Nun was a mail away, and I'm pretty sure the Emperor was as well. And I think it was on the back of a Kellogg's thing.
That's it.
Well, this is a great comment. It's the case. You really had to be there. That's not to diss new people, but you wouldn't understand how kids reacted in the playground at the time if you weren't there.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah.
And Ray says, being those characters as a child was the very best. I remember Halloween running around terrorizing innocents in my Boba Fett costume, an electronic DL-44 solo blaster. That's fantastic. Really is. So this has been a really good chat. Now I want to share you guys' channels, so I'm going to do that. So Monkey Boy, if I can copy this, let me see.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can break 100 subscribers by the end of the year. That would be good.
So where are you now?
I'm on 64, which is nearly 1,000, isn't it?
I thought you were going to say 69 then.
Whoa, you naughty boy.
No, yeah, if anyone wants to hop over and join my channel, that would be great.
Hang on. So right here, that is Monkey Boy's channel. Everyone who's watching this, please click on that link and subscribe to Monkey Boy. And then if we go to so Jason, I have, in fact, now that you're here, because you are the big traveling man, I have news to break. So hang on. So Jason now has 254 subscribers. So let me copy this, and this is for Jason. So everyone watching, subscribe to Monkey Boy and subscribe to Jason, because they have great channels. And
thank you.
If you like what I do, you will love what they do. So
part of my channel is basically a bit of traveling, finding retro toys when I can, and doing what I like. And that's
Awesome.
how it
I've
should be.
watched quite a few of your videos. I believe I'm subscribed to you. I've watched quite a few of your videos. You certainly get about it, don't you?
I do try. Especially
So,
in a fortnight's time, I will be back on my travels. So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Well, Jason, as it happens, in a fortnight's time, I will be traveling for the first time ever since doing this channel. Well, actually, that's not true because I started the channel in April of 2019, and then I had to go to the UK for very unfortunate circumstances. And I got back to America in October of 19 and haven't left since. However, on July 8th, Mrs. AT8 and I will be visiting the home of the king, Elvis Presley.
Nice.
Now, some people will say, what's that got to do with the 80s? It's got a lot to do with the 80s because back in the 80s, my grandma would play me Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash records that I thoroughly enjoyed as a kid. And the fact that I am going to step into the house of Elvis Presley, knowing that my grandma played me his records back in like 1981 or something, that to me is all things 80s.
Yeah.
I will definitely be doing a video showing the whole journey. And
I think if I saw somebody else who's done Elvis, I think you can only film outside on the grounds. You can't film inside, but you can take photos.
That is exactly correct.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. The Graceland Mansion is strictly still photo only.
Yeah.
And that is fine. But I'm hoping that the pass that we bought for this trip will allow us to go behind the scenes and maybe hold his microphone and boots at some point.
Yeah.
Just out of interest, why are you not allowed to film in there, but you can take still photographs?
I don't know.
No idea.
Oh, okay.
And also bearing in mind that nobody is allowed upstairs in his house. That is off limits to everyone. Because apparently back in the day, it was off limits, and that rule has stood to this day.
You know why? It's because he's still up there, mate.
Yeah. Well, although in saying that, so he died at 42 in 1977.
Allegedly, yeah.
Technically, he could still be alive. It is possible.
Didn't they bring him back in? Obviously, he's a fiction character. Didn't they bring him back in one of the horror films as a sort of like as a not a bad guy, but somebody trying to save people from these horror creatures?
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was.
Oh, that was I think that was Odd Thomas.
Yeah.
Was it? Yes,
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
This
based on the Dean Koontz novel.
Yeah, that's a great comment because, believe it or not, I did my research and he and I were the same height. And prior to his death, we're probably not far off in terms of weight. So maybe I could fit into his jumpsuit. And also as well, like, I just want to do this video. Like I said, it's a whole, full circle of 1981, 82, my grandma playing me these records and getting the chance to actually go there. But it will serve as maybe a tourist type video to show you what's available there should you wish to go.
Yeah.
But a couple of things I'm really looking forward to, and that is to try the Elvis sandwich, which is the peanut butter and banana sandwich fried in bacon grease. And which is, well, bearing in mind, Elvis got pretty big towards the end of his life. That sandwich was a big part of that. And also another thing as well, within the hotel, now the hotel is really cool. It's not an Elvis themed hotel. It's an Elvis inspired hotel. So it's not like real tacky and stuff. But apparently in the bar, they have a bunch of Elvis-themed drinks, one of which is a peanut butter-flavored vodka mixed with banana liqueur and some other stuff, which sounds pretty interesting to me. So I'll give that a bash.
Yeah, why not?
I think,
once.
yeah, I think for me though, it would be quite emotional because, like I said, my grandma was a big fan of Elvis and Johnny Cash, and she would play me the music, and just to know that maybe they're watching me from heaven, going to visit the house of the king is amazing to me. So there is a slight connection to the 80s, so it makes sense to do a video for that.
Yeah, you're going to have an amazing time. It's going to be really good.
Oh yeah.
Great stream yet again, guys. Nice to meet Jason, of course.
And
check us out. Yes, all things you must rewind to the P break to check out Monkey Boy's toy. But yeah, I saw the Bib Army last week off camera. Wow, what an army that is!
Yeah.
Visiting Jim Morrison's grave in France. Wow, fantastic. Yep.
I mean, I can't believe when I'm out in America for my 49th birthday, I'm going to be in Gagey Edge.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've never always seen these videos. I've not seen it with my own eyes, and I just can't wait.
So, are you going to build your own lightsaber?
No, I'm not going to. I'd like to build a droid.
Yeah,
but sadly, the size droid wouldn't fit in with the droids and stuff I've got.
Okay.
So, but like my brother says, it'd be memories. So I may still do a droid, but I don't think I'll build a lightsaber.
Make sure you do us a video.
Oh, there'll be plenty of videos, my friend. I can tell you now. It's all going here. What I have to keep telling myself, I'm here for holiday.
Yeah.
Or vacation to the Americans.
Right. Yeah. Jenner's question is, isn't there an Elvis? Yeah, and tomorrow.
Yes, there is.
And ironically, I didn't know about this movie prior to booking this trip. So hopefully it won't be too busy when we're there. I'm sure things are going to pick up again.
Yeah, I think it will. I've seen trailers for this movie.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And it does look brilliant.
It's meant to be very good. It's meant to be very good.
And the fact that Priscilla gave it her blessing says a lot.
Yeah, it does.
So my stepdad exposed me to Johnny Cash in '84 when he met me. Wow, fantastic. Yeah. So I just remember my grandma playing the live from Folsom Prison tape with Johnny Cash, and there were parts where he would use curse words, and it would be beeped on the tape, and either my grandma or my dad said the word being said was bum. So whenever it beeped, I would laugh like a kid, of course.
Yeah.
So that's my memory of Johnny Cash. But yeah, I'm so happy to be going there. And like I said, I'll do as much video as I can. It's probably not going to be of much interest to most folks, but you know what? It's my 80s memory, so to hell with it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's actually how I feel about my channel. Because the idea of this channel was just to do traveling.
Yeah.
But then I realised I've got other passions that I love, and I thought, let's share it with other people, and that's why
Yeah,
I think that's why we all do what we do.
I really enjoyed your video at the Star Wars toy exhibition. That was fantastic.
Oh, it was actually really amazing to see. And basically the prototypes. And the thing is, a couple of them prototypes I've seen there.
Yeah.
You could easily make yourself.
Right.
Basically the TIE bomber they planned was literally 2 TIE fighters.
Right.
And basically cut 2 ends off and join them together. I mean, I thought, I could do that.
Yeah.
I'll do it with the powers of force lines if I wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
So some of them stuff was amazing.
Yeah. So I'm going to call a close to this because I do have something I need to work on tonight. But to everyone watching, thank you so much for tuning in. As I said earlier, be sure to subscribe to Monkey Boy's Toys and to Travels with Jason F.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much to the Super Chatters. That is unbelievably kind to you all. And thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this honest discussion. Like I said, I don't hate the series. I just have my complaints.
Mm.
Well,
And
we wouldn't be
don't
human
boycott
otherwise, would
Super
we?
7. Sorry, go on.
I said we wouldn't be human otherwise, would we?
No, that's right.
Exactly. So there you go. So hopefully we can do this all. In fact, next week I think, hang on. So today is 23rd. So next week is what? June 30. So that means I've got 2 more before I go to Graceland. So yeah, we'll do this all again next week. Maybe you guys can join me again. I hope so.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So, but we have to think of a topic to discuss because I think Kenobi has been done to death.
Yeah.
It was okay. It wasn't earth-shattering. It was probably a waste of time, to be honest, but it is what it is. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Certainly will.
Bye-bye.